So we want to talk about some of the practical matters related to the trip. And the question about baggage has come up a number of times. What can I take? What should I expect, and so forth. So the airline has their requirements. According to the airline, you can have one checked bag per person, and then you can have one carry-on that you can stow overhead, plus one personal item that you can put under your seat. However, don't plan on the carry-on, because even though you can take it on the plane, they don't want you to take a carry-on, an extra piece of luggage on the bus. So when we land in Tel Aviv, what you've got to take with you. And it's all got to fit on the bus. So you can take a carry-on, and I recommend that you have something that you can take with you. A day pack, something you sling over your shoulder or wear on both shoulders, or that you carry with you, because you'll want to take some things with you each and every day. Maybe a raincoat or a hat or some bottles of water, extra batteries for your camera, whatever. Something to take along with you. Some days we'll be doing a lot of walking. Other days we'll be on the bus going from place to place. But some kind of a backpack is a good idea. The checked bag it's pretty generous. I mean, this is typical airline fare. The maximum exterior dimensions for your check-in baggage, length, width plus height, should be 62 inches, including handles and wheels. So if you have any questions, just get out a tape measure and do a little bit of math and figure out if it's there. And maximum weight, 50 pounds. Okay, unless you're in a special class, and United Airlines has certain people that have flown with them and belong to some of their special clubs and so forth, and some of them can do 70 pounds, bigger bags and so forth. But this is the standard. Okay, that's what most of us peons get. And so this needs to fit under your seat, and that's good. So just remember to bring with you pretty much everything you expect you'll need. Don't plan on being able to stop by the store while you're over there. There are stores, and you can get to them, but we won't be in close proximity to stores very much of the time. So, so try to plan well in advance and take what you need. Don't forget to bring sunglasses, bring a hat, bring layers of clothes. Make sure you've got something for in case we get a rain shower. We may not. This last week, praise the Lord, Israel had a good rainstorm one day. They picked up a half an inch in one day in Jerusalem, which is nice. It's good. They still need a lot more, but they're picking up a little bit of rain.
Have you checked on the temperature over there right now? 60s.
60s?
Mid-60s.
Okay.
In Jerusalem now.
In Jerusalem, right?
Yeah. Where it varies a little bit.
Yeah, it varies. So the climate, like we said before, is very much like it is here in Northern California. Down by the Dead Sea, like Southern California. So we're about the same latitude, and so we can expect very similar climate to what we might get here. But of course here, this time of the year, it varies a lot. It can be quite warm in Redding in January, in February, March. It can be quite cold, it can be clear, it can be rain. So, you can expect all of the above. So that's why layers are a good thing. If you want to go through Hezekiah's tunnel, I would recommend that you get something to wear on your feet that you can wear through the tunnel, and then either, like if they're flip-flops, you can stick them in a plastic bag, or I usually take my old worst ratty pair of tennis shoes that are all worn out, got holes, and I wear them through Hezekiah's tunnel and then toss them out. So I just plan on that.
You take a backpack through this guy's tunnel?
Yeah.
So you put your change of clothes and your extra shoes and stuff in the backpack,
Yes.
and then you go through.
That's what you'll want to do.
And then throw away your clothes or whatever.
You can if you want to, yeah. So you're not going to get completely wet.
Yeah,
So,
just waist,
yeah.
thighs.
So if you wear shorts, which is what I did last time, and then I wish I hadn't, because after we got out it was really cold. But if you have shorts, you might not even get them wet. It can come up to mid-thigh. Depends on the water level. There is a little bit of current flowing through the tunnel. It's not fast current, but it flows from Gihon Spring to Siloam Pool. And so there's current. So if you're wearing like flip-flops, well, I mean, some people can wear those no problem in a little bit of current of water. If you're klutzy like me, you could probably drop it, you know. And that's always difficult. Then you're looking around. You want to bring a flashlight with you, and maybe extra batteries. You might think about batteries too. You can stop and buy batteries if you need to. There's places along the way, but you might not find that place right when you need them. I would just plan on bringing enough batteries. So if you think you're going to run out, maybe bring some extras with you. If they're lithium-ion batteries, you don't want to bring them in your carry-on luggage. Okay, the airlines don't want you to do that. So let's see what else. Anyway, think ahead. Think ahead. Plan well, and bring what you want. Now, as for this, not allowed for the land portion of the tour. But here's a thought: consider a collapsible duffel bag for the return trip. So if you think you might be picking up a lot of stuff along the way, for the return trip, if you have a collapsible duffel bag in here, you can get it out the last night before we head back to the Tel Aviv airport for the return and put extra things in it, and then that could be your second piece to carry on the plane. Okay. But just not a full thing, because there's not going to be any place in the bus for it.
The stores will ship stuff home.
Yeah, stores will ship stuff home. You've got to pay for the shipping, but that's also an option. If you buy something over, if you find something over there, you just have to have. You know, you don't have to carry it with you on the plane. Okay. So, all right. So that's baggage. Any questions on baggage? What about spending money? I've been asked this question a lot. Okay, so your tour price covers pretty much everything. You don't have to worry about tipping anybody. The tips are all taken care of. You know, all of the entrance fees to any place we go, the bus, the driver, the tour guide, 2 meals a day, 2 big meals a day, big buffet meals. And I've had people who just, you know, fill up real good in the morning and they wait until dinner. And you can do that. We will stop each day for lunch, and you might want to bring spending money to buy lunch each day. So just keep that in mind. But the buffet breakfast, buffet dinner are big. I mean, there's a lot of food to eat. Some people can't face breakfast in the morning. I understand that. If that's the way you are, you're probably not going to want to wait until dinner. So just plan ahead. Also, you'll want water, and there will be water on the bus that you can buy, and there'll be lots of it there. But that does cost a little bit too. I know $1 or $2 a bottle. What was it last time? I think it was $1 a bottle. Yeah.
Can you bring an empty bottle along?
Yeah, you can. And this is what I've done in the past. Is I buy a bottle of water the first day and drink it, and then that night fill it up at the hotel and take it. But you may want to buy a second bottle if that gets all gone. But yeah, I that's really smart.
The buses over in Israel have like a basin in the front of the bus where they keep these bottles in ice water.
Yeah,
And believe me, you'll buy 2 or 3 or 4 of those a day. They're
you
wonderful.
can easily.
You
Yeah.
consider the vegetables and leafy stuff okay to eat?
Yeah, it used to be a problem. Some of the vegetables and leafy stuff years ago, especially, well, a lot of it was grown by the Arabs, and a lot of times the irrigation water wasn't that good, but they have that under control now. So any place we stop to eat will have good eating food. You don't have to be afraid of it. When we are down at the Dead Sea, you do want to be careful that you don't drink the tap water. The Dead Sea water out of the tap is desalinated, but it's not 100% desalinated, and it can make you sick. Not violently sick, you're not going to die from it, but you might have a bellyache for a day or two. by drinking that water. So down at the Dead Sea, you want to make sure that you just drink the bottled water or whatever they serve you in the hotel. Other places we go, the tap water is fine. Israel has a very good nationwide water system, but it doesn't extend to the Dead Sea, and there they have to use desalinated water. Okay, souvenirs, obviously. I mean, that's going to change. Some people, I mean, if you don't have any money, you know, make your souvenirs in your mind. Okay, but you know, most people go to Israel and they want to buy souvenirs, and it's nice to have something to bring home. And you could buy just a few little inexpensive things. You could buy hundreds or thousands of dollars. I mean, there's no limit. Israel is one of the great diamond places in the world. So if you are in the market for buying diamonds, you can keep your eyes out for that. Yeah. So
Wedding rings.
I mean, just to
Talking to the wrong
say,
group on that one.
just to say, you can go cheap, you can go expensive, anywhere in between. So people ask me, how much spending money should I take? That's entirely up to you. But you want to think about if I'm going to buy lunches,
How much are
$5
lunches there? Like
$5 to $10.
$5
$5 to $10 for lunch. The water, $1 a bottle. So how do you break it down? Well, I would suggest that you think mostly in terms of 1s and 5s, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to get over there. They can take your American money,
Okay.
but the change you get will be in shekels. So you'll buy a few things that will require bigger bills, and you'll want some bigger bills for those, but you don't want to buy a $2.50 item with a $20 bill and get a whole fistful of shekels, or else you'll arrive back home with a bunch of Israeli money. And you have a few pieces of Israeli money, it's kind of fun, it's a souvenir, but you don't need a whole fistful of it, okay? So I would recommend that you bring with you mostly 1s and 5s, a few 10s and 20s for the more expensive items, and you kind of have to think in advance of how much money you're going to spend or how expensive an item you want to buy. And in the shops, in the stores, you can use a credit card too, okay?
You know what the exchange rate is?
Yeah. Okay, the exchange rate, it varies, of course, from day to day, but it's roughly 4 shekels to the dollar, which makes it real easy to figure out. If you got a 4 shekel item, it's going to cost you about $4. 40 shekel item is going to cost you about $10. So you can always take the shekels divided by 4, and you'll have a ballpark figure. And yep.
They're probably not gonna give you a straight, I mean, they're gonna put a little bit of a translation fee on there. They're not gonna say.
On credit cards, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, if you pay them cash, they're not gonna give you 4 shekels to the dollar. They're probably gonna be, they're gonna cut you a little bit.
Well, yes and no, but there are regulations that they're supposed to go by, and there are government officials that check on these things. But there are people who will cheat you if they can. Yeah. So if you want to, you can. I mean, if you're sharp on this, you can check the exchange rate, and then you can do the math. And if they try to cheat you, you can say, no, it says this. But another thing, in Israeli culture, you bargain, okay? Especially with the street peddlers. Not quite so much in some of the nicer shops, but in lots of places. If you're in the old city of Jerusalem, the marked price means nothing. Okay? So, you talk to them, and you get yourself a deal. You talk them down, and that's part of the game. It's part of the fun. They expect it. A lot of Americans feel like they're being dishonest or cheating or something to do that. That's the culture.
And they know what they're doing. They're not going to sell it to you for
Of course not.
nothing.
Yeah. So, Tom?
Yeah, sometimes even the price on stuff will be in both shekels and dollars.
Oh, yeah. So it's a lot of the shops, you'll see it marked in both. And if you want to do the math and check them out, and you think they're charging too many dollars, just say, you know what, I don't think this matches with the exchange rate. There's nothing wrong with saying that and offer them something else. But, you know, if it's a nicer shop that doesn't really do the bargaining, you know, you wanna pay the price that's marked in a shop like that. But boy, you get out on the street or in the old city of Jerusalem, yeah, you go for it, okay? I wouldn't suggest taking, you know, bills as big as $100 bill unless you're planning on making some big expensive purchases. And don't worry about trying to exchange your money into shekels before you go. It's just, there's no point in it, it's ridiculous. And you are gonna change a fee for the exchange rate if you go to a bank and try to exchange it. It's just, that's pointless, don't even think about it. Just go bring your American money, they will gladly take it, and they take it all the time. It's not a problem. But your change you get will be in shekels.
Well, one of the things about credit cards too, you might wanna check with your
Oh, yeah,
credit card to see if there's a foreign transaction fee
good.
with when you have a purchase. And also they usually like to know if you're somewhere outside of the United States.
Yes. Yeah, you should definitely notify your credit card, your bank, or whoever is in charge of your credit card. Let them know that you're gonna be out of town. Because most of them now track that. If they see a bunch of purchases coming in from somewhere else, they might just stop it. So you let them know in advance and get that all approved and cleared. Okay, any other questions about money? It'll say somewhere on it what kind of input it can take.
Right.
And that's what you want to pay attention to. If it is designed for only 110, then you'll need to plug that first into the step-down converter. If it can take 240, then you can do
Is the
if it can plug directly into 220, all you need is the adapter plug. Okay, there's no electronics inside this. It's just straight through, but it takes little round plugs that fits into the hole into the receptacle, and here the flat blades of an electrical appliance from the United States fits into these two. Okay. Now, I actually use both for this because what most of the receptacles are recessed into the wall a little bit, and this, if I try to plug it in, it goes about halfway in and it kind of dangles there and wants to fall. So I just take the adapter and plug it right into this, because this adapter, you can see, can take both flat and round. And that now I can plug all the way in, okay, because it's got that little extension. So, but all that is an adapter, it's just straight through, it does not change the voltage. Change the voltage, you need something like this. And these come in all shapes and sizes and varieties. You can get universal ones that have a block that have all kinds of different plugs that just kind of slide out to fit different international things. Sometimes you can get these that have a whole slew of different ones you can plug in to fit different kinds of receptacles in different countries. But for Israel, this is the one you need. It's the same kind they have in the UK. And that's because the electrical infrastructure in Israel was laid down during the British period after 1917. Okay, any other questions about this? Okay, I just took this afternoon. Here's our departure date. Nice sunshine. There's a little bit of rain scheduled for that night at this point, but remember, this is over a week away, and you know how things are around here. That can change. But right now, praise God, it's looking good. Looking good. That's our travel day, Sunday the 26th. And while we're getting now to the question of transportation, we're leaving from Reading Municipal Airport. Here's Shasta Bible College. And from here, it's just out Hartnell, down Airport Road. It's just 9 miles from here. And now, we want to talk a little bit about transportation. Do most of you have somebody who's going to be dropping you off at the airport?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody who is planning on parking at the airport? Maybe, maybe not. Not quite sure. One option would be if you don't have somebody to drop you off, if you want to park here at the Bible College, you're welcome to. School will be out of session. There's a whole parking lot that's open and available. It doesn't have the same security as the airport parking lot has. But if you would like to park here, we could probably find somebody to give you a ride from here to the airport. If you want to do that, let me know and we can do it. The best thing would be if you have somebody who can drive you to the airport, drop you off, then come pick you up. But we can manage, we can handle anything you want. But if you park at the airport, it's $9 a day or $54 a week. Okay, so, which is pretty cheap for airport parking. Yeah, yeah.
The only bad thing about that with the parking there, if you don't judge it right and you run out of parking there, they will tow your vehicle.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, the way they do it now, you prepay.
Yep.
So it's a cashierless parking system in the paid parking lot, and it allows patrons to prepay for parking in the automatic. I've never used it.
Yeah,
But
it's
neat
just
user.
a little,
Kiosk.
Yeah,
it's just a
a little
little kiosk right
Yeah.
outside the door. You just put your card in, dial it all in, and put your thing back
It's
in
really
your
easy.
card.
Yeah.
I've used it many, many times.
Yeah,
It's really easy.
if you're just there for a few hours during the day, it's free.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna leave it there, if you're gonna park for the whole time, yeah, like you say, you have to make sure that you purchase the entire time.
Yeah, because there's a guy that goes through there, I don't know how often he goes through, but he checks it, and, you know, when you're done, you don't have a tag in your car or anything else, it just says, space 23, you know, they're done, and they tow your car.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, departure from Reading, here we go. Thank you for asking. I knew you were going to ask that question. United Flight 5233 from Reading to San Francisco departs at 3:24 p.m. Okay? Now, you should be at the airport by 2 p.m. So, a couple of people have asked, oh, that means I can go to church. You could go to church, but you're going to be cutting it pretty close. If the preacher is long-winded that day,
He won't be.
We're out of there at 11:30, right, John?
but even if church gets out right on time, you're going to be rushing home, changing your clothes, throwing stuff in your car, and I don't know about you, but I don't like to operate that way. So I already told the pastor I'm not going to be there Sunday. And he said, yeah, I understand, that makes sense. So theoretically, yeah, you can go to church Sunday morning, and maybe if there's an early church service, you can go. But that's it. We want you at the airport by 2 p.m., okay? I will have your tickets and your luggage tags. Okay, let me talk about tickets for a moment. You will have actual paper tickets, but that's a bit of a lark because they're all e-tickets. If you did not have a piece of paper for your ticket, all you need is your ID, which must be your passport. Make sure you have your passport with you. Double check before you go out the door and head for the airport. Make sure you've got your passport handy, okay? And if you just show your passport, you're in the system already. Okay, so the paper ticket is, I don't even know why they issue them, but some people really like to have that thing. The most important thing is going to be your boarding pass, and that you'll get at the airport, okay? When you check in your luggage, you'll get your boarding pass. But I will have your tickets. I'll also have luggage tags. Maranatha Tours gives these nice tags that you can put on your luggage. And we'll have I'll try to remember to bring some Sharpie pens that you can write your name and stuff on them. And then that can go, and you'll be in good shape. So at the airport, you'll need to make sure you get your boarding passes, and those will be passes for both phases of the trip, from Reading to San Francisco and San Francisco, then on to Tel Aviv. When you check your luggage, you will check it all the way through to Tel Aviv. We are not going to be picking it up in San Francisco and rechecking it, which also means that once we're past TSA in Reading, we don't have to go back through. We're in the system, and that's it. So I would much rather go through TSA check in Reading than probably anywhere else in the world. It's relatively easy there. But you're going to check your luggage all the way through to Tel Aviv, and make sure that when you check your luggage in, if you have a pocket knife, I always have a pocket knife in my pocket, but make sure it's in your checked luggage, not in your carry-on, certainly not in your pocket. Anything else that isn't allowed on the plane, make sure it's in your, or not allowed in the passenger compartment of the plane, make sure it's in your checked luggage. Make sure you get a luggage receipt. Okay, you can fly for years and years and years. You always got that little luggage receipt. You never use it, but the one time you need it is when you're going to need it. And I went to Ukraine one time, and I don't know how it happened. It was a really, really busy time in the San Francisco airport, and I was running a little bit late. There was a huge, huge line going through security. And I gave the guy my luggage, and I went off to get in line. I didn't get my luggage receipt. I got to Ukraine, and my luggage was not there. I think the guy back at San Francisco took it because he knew I didn't have my receipt. But I don't know to this day whatever happened to that luggage. It never did show up. I spent hours trying to communicate with these Ukrainians. Fortunately, my friend was there to speak Russian, and I just never got it. And part of the problem was I didn't have a receipt to show. They said, without a receipt, there's not really much we could do. So I filled out all kinds of forms and descriptions, but so I learned the hard way. Don't you learn the hard way? Make sure you get your luggage receipt.
So, simplest thing with that, just take that luggage receipt and put it on the back of your boarding pass.
There you go.
I've done it for years. I just, as soon as I get the thing, I just stick
Just
it on the back of your boarding pass.
Take a picture of it with your phone.
Yeah.
It's the best thing you
Yeah,
can
you can do that too.
Yeah.
It
Take
just-
a picture with your phone. Very good idea.
Yeah, I always keep my boarding passes. I got them from years ago, but
Yeah.
it's got the luggage receipt on it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have that.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Good suggestions. Okay, then we're going to go through this TSA security check. And as you know, I mean, anybody here that's been through knows. If you haven't been through, there are just certain things you have to do. Unless you have pre-check, and I don't know if we get pre-check or not. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. If you don't have TSA pre-check, you've got to take your shoes off. Probably have to take a belt off that has a belt buckle. Anything in your pockets, you're going to put in a tray. If you have a laptop computer, it's going to come out of the computer bag and then sort of thing. And they'll step you through it. Tom?
The good news, and I've flown out of Reading
Yep.
a lot of times, is that Reading is really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is nothing compared to San Francisco. I mean, we are so fortunate for boarding
Yes.
planes.
San Francisco's a nightmare.
Well, I'll tell you, this is the first time that we've flown out of Reading for this tour. When we first started flying, we flew out of San Francisco, and I do not like driving into that airport. I don't like going through the airport. There's very little. No, there isn't anything I can think.
Not nice there.
It's been highly improved recently.
Try being in the
It's a lot
military.
better
They
now
don't like the
than
military.
And then we were flying back one time, and I was looking through the little magazine in the airplane, and I saw that we could fly out of Sacramento. And I thought, well, why are we going to San Francisco? So for several years, we flew out of Sacramento, which was so much nicer. But it was still, I'll tell you, from my perspective, the guy planning the trip and being in charge of the trip, the biggest headache of this whole thing is getting from Reading to the airport. You'd think, traveling halfway around the world, it'd be something else. But it's always the biggest nightmare is how do I get, 15 to 20 or more people from Reading to the airport. So San Francisco is terrible, and Sacramento isn't a whole lot better. We've taken a bus before, sometimes we've carpooled, but it's a headache. And this year is the first year we've been able to fly out of Reading, and I tell you, I am breathing a sigh of relief. Both for the TSA check issue, like you mentioned, Tom, and just from everything else. That getting to the airport is just not a big deal. Most of us have somebody that can drive us and drop us off. And if you don't have somebody that can drop you off, we can take care of it one way or another, where you can always park at the airport, and it's not that problematic. So this is gonna be really nice for us. So we're gonna get to fly this year on one of Boeing's newest airliners, the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. And Nathan, you were telling me about this, and you know, you put me on this, and I thought, wow, that's neat. And I started looking up some of the details on this plane, and this is really cool. These are very, very new. I'll tell you a little bit about this. These are designed specifically with a lot of features to help travelers cope with jet lag. Now, that's not to say you won't have jet lag. You can't travel halfway around the world without some kind of jet lag. But they've built a lot of nice features into this plane. The maiden flight of this aircraft took place on December 15th, 2009. That wasn't very many years ago. And it completed flight testing in mid-2011. I think 2013 was when it first went into service as a commercial airliner. So we're going to be flying on a pretty new jet. Even if it's one of the oldest ones, it's not very old. Okay.
And it is one of the old ones.
So that's kind of nice. I've flown on some pretty old aircraft at times, and some of you have some more stories to tell too. But we're going to get to fly in a pretty new jet. It has a cruising speed of Mach 0.85. That kind of amazed me when we start measuring commercial airliner flights in terms of Mach. But that's equivalent to 561 miles per hour. So we're going to make pretty good time. It has what's called active gust alleviation system, having to do with how the engines output their exhaust, similar to the system used on the B-2 bomber. And this improves the ride quality during turbulence. That's again a feature that they've consciously built into thinking about passengers. How can we make their ride smoother and less stressful? It has engine noise reducing technology, significantly quieter both inside and outside. And so there are a lot of features they've built into these twin engines to make them quieter. The windows, this is a pretty cool piece of technology. The windows no longer have the plastic shades that slide up and down. The windows use electrochromism-based smart glass, allowing the flight attendants and passengers to adjust 5 levels of sunlight and visibility to their liking, reducing cabin glare while maintaining a view to the outside world. So that's kind of neat. Even at their darkest, you can just see through them a little bit, from what I understand.
You can see through
Yeah, you can see through them. And we're going to have some pretty neat stuff to look at on the trip over there, which I'll talk about on another slide. This jet is designed to better accommodate persons with mobility, sensory, and cognitive disabilities. So who here has cognitive disabilities? No, I'm just kidding. But they've thought about this. So, you know, I think in a lot of the past aircraft, it's just, you know, get the people on there and go to the other side and there you go. But they've thought about how can we make this ride more comfortable for our passengers. The internal cabin pressure is increased to the equivalent of 6,000 feet altitude instead of 8,000 feet on older conventional aircraft. According to Boeing, in a joint study with Oklahoma State University, this will significantly improve passenger comfort. Cabin air pressurization is provided by electrically driven compressors rather than traditional engine bleed air, thereby eliminating the need to cool the heated air before it enters the cabin. So this sounds a little bit like a commercial, but I was just thrilled by reading about all this stuff, and so I thought I'd share it with you guys, and I hope it's as interesting to you as it is to me. I just got a few more points, but I thought this was really fascinating stuff. Cabin humidity is programmable based on the number of passengers carried, allowing up to 15% humidity settings instead of 4% humidity in previous aircraft.
Which is very noticeable on this aircraft.
Oh, good.
When you ride it, it's noticeably more humid than your typical
Yeah.
aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah, and that dry air, you know, long
That,
flight.
yeah, that dry air, it takes its toll on you.
Yeah.
So this is, again, good. And one more thing about the air, cabin air conditioning improves air quality by removing ozone from outside air. Besides standard HEPA filters, which remove airborne particles, this uses a gaseous filtration system to remove odors, irritants, and gaseous contaminants, as well as particulates like viruses, bacteria, and allergens. The bladeless engine cabin air system also allows the 787 to avoid oil fumes and toxins, which are dangerous to the health of passengers and crew and are found in all other aircraft bleed air systems. So that's, hey, you know, that's good stuff.
Won't be like flying anymore.
Considering it's a 14 or 15 hour flight, it'll make a difference.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's probably 13 or 14 hours. It might go a little over 14. I checked on all the records, and it varies a lot more than I thought it would.
Headwind, tailwind.
Yeah, headwind, tailwind, and there's right over Turkey. It looks like there's a possibility of
Go around.
you go this way or that way. Yeah.
I think this is fascinating, and not to seem too shallow, but do you know anything about food and movies?
Thank you for asking. And you know what? Kathy, Janice was just asking me about the same thing. No, I don't.
It said dinner on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have food, you'll have dinner and breakfast,
It said
Yeah.
dinner.
you'll have dinner and breakfast, and you'll have full access to like a massive library of movies
Okay.
and TV shows and all that kind of stuff.
your own headphones.
They'll pass out free earbuds, more than likely.
Yeah.
But you know, you can always bring your own. They're going to be better, probably better. But yeah, and they won't charge you for access to the videos, to the movies or anything like that. On an international flight, that's all free.
Cool.
So you'll have
Food.
more movies than you can watch. Oh, not necessarily more good movies than you can watch. But I mean,
Yeah, and it's not like, yeah, and it's not like they, you know, like the old ones where the screen and everybody watching
Yeah.
the same screen. You've got a screen on the seat in front of you. And,
yeah, and it's a big screen on the 787. It's about this big.
wow.
It's a really big screen. Not the old little tiny one that you used to have.
And chargers for your phones and
Every
everything
seat
else.
Yeah,
has power.
yeah.
Every seat will have power.
Really?
Even in economy.
Wow.
You'll have I think in most of the economy rows, there's 2 plugs per 3 seats, so there's like in
Yeah.
between the 2 middle seats.
Okay.
I think economy plus and business class, they're every seat.
Yeah. Electricity is a big thing in these planes.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got it.
Everything's electrical. And,
Do we have the same plane on the way home?
We do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. Larry.
I was gonna add, there's 3 other things. One is the windows are much bigger,
Yes.
so you don't have to kind of bend over to look out the window. Secondly, that 6,000 feet, that allows you to have more oxygen without having to breathe so deeply.
Okay.
And thirdly, the wings are so flexible that it gives you much more soft ride.
I like the shock absorber.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. When you come in for a landing, the wing tips will actually go higher than the side of the plane. It's crazy.
Yeah, they've used
Because they're all carbon fiber.
They use a lot of composite materials instead of metal, like a lighter.
They really flex.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to watch if you get a window,
I'll bet.
get a window seat.
I'm looking forward to it. This is our flight path, by the way, just so you know. So it's kind of a polar route. That looks like it's out of the way, but when you put the curvature of the Earth in there, that's a straight line.
I'll get it.
So we take off from San Francisco. In the past, we've almost always gone from here to the East Coast, and then we take more of a route like this, where you're flying over the ocean all the time. This time, we're going to go up over the United States, over Canada, a little bit of ocean in here, then we're over Greenland, and then a little short trip across the ocean here. Then we're going to come down through Norway, Sweden, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Turkey, and finally landing in Tel Aviv, Israel. And we're going to be a daylight over all this territory here. We're going to have those nice big picture windows, and should be able to look out and see a lot of interesting countryside. So, if you want to do a little work beforehand and read up on these countries and what you're going to be looking at before you see it from the plane, You might find that interesting. I always like to
United-
know what I'm looking at.
United's showing our flight there at 14 hours and 10 minutes,
Okay,
and our flight back at 15 hours and 10 minutes.
okay.
But, you know, it'll vary based on the
It'll
circumstances of the
it'll
flight.
vary a lot.